Welcome back to Overtime Heroics. I'm Mason Shatwell, and today joining me is newly professional MMA fighter Lewis McGrillen. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, mate. Thank you. How are you?
I can't complain, obviously. I'm going to jump straight into it. May 8th, you made your professional debut. Tell me, what was that like?
It was mint. I've always been wanted to become a professional fighter, and I finally get to do that. And all I could just say, I was just made up to being there and fighting as a professional.
Well, obviously, it was short notice, well, it seemed short notice because it was announced, I think, the week before. How much before did you know about the fight, or was it literally the last minute?
I knew I was. I spoke to my coach about me going professional soon, very soon, right? And then I was going to fight in UK Fighting Championships in July. What was going to be my professional debut then? And then my coach got contacted by Jamie A to fight on his show MMA Uncaged, and he went, "You might as well just jump on there and get your professional debut in a few weeks." And I was like, "Let's do it." And then I knew about 3 weeks before, but then I announced it like a week before, I think.
100%, and obviously, I think, yeah, I've met you personally down at Manchester Top Team before. I just wanted to ask, what is it like training with guys such as Lerone Murphy, and obviously your coach Carl Prince, Kane Musa, and even some of the amateur guys like Abraham Babli, Ibra Alfahi Kassan, Ibra Ibragimov. Obviously, you've got some really talented guys down there. What's it like training at Manchester Top Team?
It's a pleasure to have the fact that we're in Manchester, and the people think like you got to go here to train here, you got to be in America to train, and when I'm literally in that little facility in Ashton just training, and I'm around people from Dagestan, people even just from Manchester, and the levels in there is different. Like every week I'm leveling up. Like it's crazy. I can just look at myself. Last time I met you, I've leveled up tons since then, and that was like last year in August, weren't it? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And I've leveled up since then, loads. And I just love improving end of the day, and that's all I'm gonna get. Just improve.
100%. Obviously, like we mentioned, I met you back in August, September, something like that, and it was ahead of Celtic Gladiator, which was taking place in November. You were due to fight on that card against Zach Fry. How disappointing was it to obviously have that fight fall out of place and not being able to fight in November?
I was wounded about that. I wanted to fight him from the start of the year on UKFC to defend my flyweight title. That didn't happen because of COVID. We tried sorting it out many occasions to fight. COVID restrictions got involved, and then to be honest with Zach, I kind of had a feeling he'd pull. I just had that feeling like there was a lot of tension and heatedness between me and him. Like I just feel like it was either now we're gonna fight or it's never. And then I feel like he chose the way out not to fight me.
I know you're a Manchester lad. Whereabouts in Manchester are you from?
I'm from Wythenshawe, me.
Well, obviously, Wythenshawe have the fair share of few good people within the sport. Obviously, Tyson Fury's known around Wythenshawe. Obviously, he was born at the Wythenshawe Hospital. Marcus Rashford as well.
Yeah,
Do you think you're one of the guys now that's paving the way in MMA for Manchester MMA, and obviously more importantly Wythenshawe as itself?
Yeah, definitely. Like where I'm from in Wythenshawe, everyone knows who I am. Everyone knows me as the young lad coming up. Like the MMA fighter as well. We have a lot of boxers around here, to be fair, but they're a lot older than me who are professionals. Like you got Jimmy Kelly, Macaulay McGowan, and stuff like that. But I'm like the new generation coming up in combat sport from Wythenshawe, and I don't just box. I don't just kickbox. I do it all. I'm an MMA fighter in the day, and the sport I have from where I'm from, it means a lot, and it strives me towards not just being representing Wythenshawe, but representing Manchester as a whole. I just want to take Manchester to put it on the map than it already is, especially Wythenshawe.
Well, I totally get what you're saying there, wanting to put Wythenshawe on the map. But I'm a Stockport lad, and I'm due to be having my first amateur fight in 5 weeks tomorrow as we're filming. And my dream is to obviously put Stockport on the map even more. Obviously, we've got the likes of Phil Foden doing that in the football world. So that's my dream. But going back, obviously, you say you've got a lot of support within Wythenshawe and Manchester, but how strong do you think the Manchester fan base is? Because obviously, at your gym alone, obviously, you got Kane Musa, Lerone Murphy, and they've got some big support over in the UFC and Bellator respectively, and it just seems that the Manchester fan base is so big and supporting their own guys. How strong do you feel the Manchester fan base is?
I think it's leveling, definitely. It's like when you get people like LeRone and Kane promoting themselves. Even I could walk through Manchester now and people notice me through Kane or through LeRone, like they see me on their socials, or they might just know me through fighting. End of the day, like LeRone, when LeRone fought Zubair Tukhonov, everyone was storing him who I know, and they were asking me, "Do you know this lad?" I'm like, "Yeah, I train with LeRone. I train with LeRone." People are starting to recognise us now. And I feel like MMA is just leveling up in popularity, leveling up every year. It's leveling up, especially like just in Europe as a whole. I feel like it. Do you know how Conor McGregor was with Ireland?
Yeah.
I just feel like I feel like that's how it's going to be with the fighters from England, not just Manchester, like leveling up.
100%. Obviously, with Kane and Lerone both training at Top Team, you train with them day in, day out. What are Kane and Lerone like on a day-to-day basis?
Monsters. LeRone is the most. How do I describe? He's just professional. He's structured. He has everything. I can tell how he is like with his schedule. He's structured and everything how he does. He's just a definition of professional. Like he always has everything he always has everything intact what he's going to do, like training. And on a session is what he's looking to improve in a session on his own, and not just a session we're learning today. Like we might be learning a bit of like working on feints in our striking today. Yeah, LeRone will put something into that with his feints, what he's already working on, what he thinks he needs to work on. It's the same with Kane. Kane just loves to graft, hard work. It is the way he preaches himself on Instagram. That's how he is, real life. To be honest, he's mad, and he likes hard work. And he likes that grit.
Before we get back onto you, obviously, Lerone, I think last week or the week before, had a fight announced. He's due to be fighting in August. Do you have a prediction for your teammates' fight?
I feel like Lerone has not even shown his full skill set yet. I feel like when I see Lerone, he's improved every day in the gym and stuff like that. And he's getting, not even just that, he's getting that cage time now. He's getting that octagon time, and he's realised what he's capable of. And I feel like when he fights that I forgot his name, the Canadian guy, the guy, he's a good opposition to fight. But I feel like Lerone's going to put levels on him, and I just feel like he's going to stop him in the second round.
Oh, obviously, I want to go back to the Top Team. The head coach, Carl Prince. You've got Andrew Lofthouse, Luke Barnett as well. What is it like having these top level coaches and teammates as well helping you day in, day out?
Oh, Carl's everything, like helping me out through anything. If we're just even outside outside of training, he speaks to me like he's family to me now. Like he brought me up from like having my first fight before we were Manchester Top Team. We were all powers in Stockport, and he brought me up to have my first fight. And like he's always there for me. He always wants me to do best, and he's on my case no matter what. Even if like I might have my day, like I might not train this morning because I might be tired, but he's on my case saying, "Are you okay?" or "What's up?" or stuff, something might go on in my personal life. That's what he's like. He's like a dad, a father figure to me. And I say Loft is like my big brother, if you know what I mean. Like, he's a training partner as well, and his how he's becoming a coach now at Top Team. He showed me levels what like in my Muay Thai game or my kickboxing game what I never thought I could get to. Like, I just feel like having these sort of people around me are good role models, and they bring out the best in me. And I just feel like I'm leveling up every time.
Well, obviously, like you say, Carl and Andy Lofthouse are both obviously like family to you. Do you think within the gym it's important to have that family effect within your teammates and coaches?
Yeah, definitely. Because we're not just like training partners, we're like a family, or we're all just mates as well. Like when I come back, when I finish training, like in the morning, I'll get on the tram and I'll head back home. I'm getting on the tram with some of my teammates. I'm all having conversations. It might be with some new up and coming fighters from the gym who were training out of here, or I'll be like get on the tram with like Ibrahimov, and I'll be speaking to all like the Russian lads and stuff like that, and we're all just mixing together, and we're all just good friends as well. And I just feel like it's building team chemistry, and we're all just getting along because like we're making each other, striving each other to be better.
I wanted to ask about Ibrahim Ibrahimov. Obviously, I don't want to ponder too much about your teammates, but how great of a fighter is he? Because obviously, we've seen last time out at Cage Steel 25, I believe, he had a great performance, and he's looking like one of the top prospects coming out of Russia and the UK, respectively.
Oh, he's a monster. Like, he's probably he's the strongest 16, 17-year-old lad I've ever met, and he's so competitive. Like, I've never met a lad or a kid more competitive than him. Like, he wants to win all the time, no matter what. Even in a touch spar, for example. But he knows what he's capable of, and things with Ibra, he knows what he's capable of. Like I said, in it, he knows his worth, and like when I look at him, I could take inspiration off him as well and see what he's capable of. Because like I have good rounds of Ibra, and like he's been doing it like since before he could crawl, wrestling, like since like day he was born. And when I'm like training with him, like he puts levels on, he gives me levels like to level up, and he even just gives people work like Kane on the road. Like it doesn't matter about his age because he's got some massive skill set, and he's got a massive future ahead of him.
Yeah, I remember when I was down at Top Team in August, September time. I remember speaking to Ibrahim, and he seems such like a calm lad as well. But when he steps into that cage, he's a different type of monster, isn't
he? Yeah. Calculated. I call him a silent assassin. Me. That's how I describe him.
100%. I want to go back to the beginning of your amateur career as well. I think going back a couple of years now, what made you get into MMA? Because as you mentioned before, Wythenshawe, it's got quite a lot of boxers. But what made you go into MMA and not boxing, which is more known in Wythenshawe?
I've always liked boxing and stuff like that. Like I had friends who box, and I was always playing football as well. It always goes two ways in it. It's either boxing or it's football. I've noticed. I used to be a goalkeeper, and I used to play I played for like Manchester Boys and stuff like that. But I just in the end I feel like it was coming to an end for me in football. I wasn't growing. I wasn't getting tall enough and stuff like that. I had the talent. I had major talent to be a goalkeeper, but I just didn't have that the attributes in the end anymore. I stopped growing, stuff like that, and I've always been a fighter. I used to fight on the pitch and stuff like that. I used to get in trouble for it, and I just like one day I started grappling. We used to grapple on the AstroTurf in school, like messing about after footwear, and there was this one lad in my year, and he wasn't really in like the clique what I was in, and he was pretty quiet, and then someone said to him, "You should grapple with him. He does like UFC training and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh, does he now?" So I started grappling with him, and I did really good against him, and he was showing me little bits and stuff like that. And he said, "Have you ever done it before? Like, ever done like MMA?" And I was like, "What's MMA?" And he's like, "What the UFC is basically."
Mm.
And I was like, "Nah, I've watched it and stuff like that because I started like playing the computer game and stuff like that." And he went, "You should come down to a gym." And I was like, "Okay, might as well." And then the rest is history. There, I went there, I started training, but I didn't take it too serious at first because I was like 16, 15, and I was training a bit in there. Then I stopped a little bit. Then I moved to a different gym. I trained there for a good few months, and then I stopped again. And then I stopped training for like 6, 7 months, and then I thought to myself, "Yo, I really do miss what I was doing, like training a bit of MMA. I really loved it." And I kept getting in trouble outside of like training when I stopped and stuff like that. And I was getting into fights on the street, and I was just doing things what could end up me like in the wrong path in life. So I went back and I realized, and in, like I had a bit of like a talent in it, I'd say, and I had dedication to it when I put my mind on it. And then literally I just started training at all powers, and then I realized I wanted to do it. And as soon as I left school, I took it full time and said I want to be a fighter, and that's how I got my first fight, really.
I want to touch on something that's happened in the past 5, 6 months. I think I've seen you on TikTok quite a bit, and I remember back a couple of months ago that I think his name was Danny. What was it, or something that you get a bit of back and forth? What was that about?
You know what? You're the only person to mention that on as a journalist in MMA. That was basically I did a TikTok, didn't I? And I went a bit. I got a few views, and I was like, right. I didn't realize it. I was making a highlight reel from Insta, and then people kept like liking my stuff, and I was getting tagged in this guy's Instagram. I mean TikTok, sorry, saying he'll fight anyone for 10 grand. And I looked, and I did a duo video, and I was like, this guy, I'd fight you for free, little muppet, winding him up. and he took it to heart, and then he started like going mad over it and stuff like that, and then we started exchanging, didn't we, on TikTok, calling each other out, but I was proper winding up, I was only having a laugh, and then he ended up blocking me and stuff like that.
I think I think he ended up deleting his account at some point.
Yeah, he did. People kept sending me stuff. People messaged him on Instagram as well, like asking what was going on. I think I kind of like wound him up a little bit too much, and I think he didn't take that very well.
Yeah, I just don't think he could take the banter. I remember just scrolling through like you're doing, then seeing you pop up commenting about him, and I thought, I know you, and it just made me laugh seeing him then delete his account and that, and I just thought the guy can't take the banter, could he?
Nah, it was mad that was I was after training. I used to go on TikTok. I was like, yo, I can't wait for him to say to say something about me. I used to get enjoyment out of it. I just used to love arguing and winding him up. I was just doing it for a joke, big, and I was like, if you ever wants to have a fight, I'll have a fight with him. Do you know what I mean? But he just didn't hack it, and I did a bit of research in him, and the guy's never had a fight. He trains at some kickboxing gym, and I knew a few lads who trained in that gym, or lads who knew of lads in that gym. And apparently, just told me he's a bit of a weirdo, and like he lies and stuff what he says on social media. So I was just like, oh, that explains it then, doesn't it? But yeah, but literally that's all it is, really.
100%. A couple more things before I let you get off. Obviously, as we mentioned, you had your professional debut a few weeks back. Do you think is there anything else lined up coming up soon for you to have another pro fight?
But looking, Carl's away now this weekend because Jonas Maggard's fighting for his Fen world title. As soon as he's back, we're going to get talking about that and get a new fight camp going straight away, looking for a fight. I'm already ready now. I'm fit. All I need to do is just get my diet down a little bit because I ate a bit out, like I ate a bit of shit after the fight. But I'm still training. I'm ready. I'm fit. I just need to do is get my diet down and I'm good to go, really. But that'll take me about 3 weeks and I can make flyweight easy. So all I need to do is just be ready, and that's what I am.
Was your pro debut, was that at bantamweight or was that at flyweight as well?
That was at 61, that one, because it was a bit of a short notice, and I'd say because the competition wasn't as competitive, I'd say we just went 61 for this one. Like I feel like as the level and the competition's going to rise in the pro ranks, I'm going to go back to flyweight. That's what my plans is, because I don't feel like there's no point cutting to flyweight for certain type of opponents who could just fight at 61. Like it does kill making flyweight. Not gonna lie, as I'm getting older, my body's still growing, but I know I can make it any day. But it just depends on the competition, really. Say if like I'm fighting a good opponent on like UKFC or Cage Warriors or something, for example, like that, I'll jump on like making flyweight straight away.
Well, this is a bit of advice personally for me and for anyone watching. Obviously, as you mentioned, it's hard to make flyweight, but how do you usually manage your weight cut? Because obviously, as mentioned earlier, I'm having my first fight. I'm cutting down to welterweight, and I'm trying to get as much tips from guys that have done it before as well. But if you could give any tips on a weight cut and how to manage it easier, what would you give?
Well, I cut quite a bit, but I just diet down, and I have 3 meals a day, and I schedule it. I'll eat from like 10 a.m. to like 6 p.m. That's what I do. It's like a fasting process type of thing. So like, and then after that, I won't eat past 6 or 7 p.m. That's it. And then what I'll do, the portion sizes ain't that big really. Like a hand size portion size. And then what I tend to eat is like just boiled veg, and then I'll have like salmon and stuff like. I eat a lot of fish, me. And then if I want to snack on something, I'll just eat nuts, literally. Like it's a boring diet. And for me breakfast, I'm having bran flakes. That's it. Bran flakes sometimes with water. I know it sounds disgusting, doesn't it? But that's the diet I got to do to make flyweight.
100%. Obviously, it's worth the sacrifice in the end because hopefully, well, I'm sure it will be paying off in the future. But as we mentioned before, you was going to speak to Carl when he gets back from Jonas's fight on when you're next going to fight. But do you have an idea how many times you want to compete before the end of the year?
Yeah, but I want to fight at least 4 times this year. I'm not gonna lie, or even 3 or 4 fights this year now. Like I'll fight if I could, I'd fight at least once every month. Not gonna lie, and then as the levels rise and stuff like that, like just want to get active, and then when I hit like 23, 24, I'm looking to get into the UFC. That's my goal. End of the day, like I'm 21 this year, and I just want to get into the UFC. But there's no rush as well. End of the day, I'm still growing lad, and I'm still like young in the game. But I just want to get into the UFC in it. But that's every kid's dream, I'd say.
Oh, 100%. If you could give advice to someone starting out in MMA, like a complete amateur, never trained before, what would you give?
Just confidence, believe in yourself. I know it sounds intimidating walking into an MMA gym or something like that, but as long as all you got to do is just believe in yourself, and when you walk in, just feel comfortable in your surroundings, and I guarantee like it'll take off from there.
Do you have any shout outs or sponsors you want to give before we end in a minute?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to M24 CBD, Manchester Top Team, and Doyle Davis Car Sales.
100%. And lastly, how can people find you on social media?
Yep, my Instagram is Lewis MCG MMA 2000, and my Facebook page is Lewis McGrillen MMA.
Lewis, it's been a pleasure, mate. I can't wait to see you back in the cage, and hopefully I'll be down at Top Team again to meet you guys again and speak to you in person.
Thank you, mate, and good luck on your fight, yeah?
Nice one, bro. I appreciate it. Take care, man.
See you later, bro.